More. Hey, Coach.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Good, good,
I
good.
just shared my phone number with them and my email address so they can get a hold of me. Did you want to say something before I get going?
Just tiny little, just.
Okay.
There we go, sir. We might have a couple of others trickling in that are coming from different places.
All right.
But for the most part, I think we're pretty good. All right, guys, as we talked about earlier, this is Dr. West. He's going to be our FAR representative for the year. Again, as I said, I spent quite a bit of time trying to cultivate this relationship. Want to make sure we got the right person in place. He's going to tell you guys a little bit more about his wrestling background, if he chooses to, and you know, what his goals are for our program and how he can help you guys succeed here as student athletes. So without further ado, Dr. West.
All right. So a couple of things. First thing is the only sport, as Coach may have mentioned, the only sport that I played in junior high and high school was wrestling. I wrestled at whatever the lowest weight was. I don't even remember now. I want to say it was sub 100 pounds. So I was a little guy and I wrestled for a little while, and that's the only sport that I actually played. Doesn't mean I know anything about it. I really don't recall anything other than, does worldwide WWW wrestling count? Anybody have any idea what the average salary is for a professional wrestler? Anybody?
40.
How do you define a professional wrestler?
Actor.
Do you guys know? So there's the WW whatever, right? The acting wrestling, at least I assume it's mostly acting wrestling. Is that true? You guys tell me, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. And then I guess there are professional wrestling groups that do real wrestling for money, and you can make money at that. The range that I saw was $35,000 to $76,000, and that's for everything. Keep in mind that that includes some professional wrestlers, WWW wrestlers, that are making millions of dollars. So when we look at an average salary of $76,000, that means lots of wrestlers aren't making any kind of money, right? And there are some that are making serious amounts of money. And I guess the takeaway from this is, I wonder if wrestling is really a career for later in life. What do you think? Is it a career?
No.
Probably not, right? Maybe Olympic wrestling. They still do Olympic wrestling, yes? So Olympic wrestling can be a ticket, I'm guessing, to gold medal and to some sort of career. Other than that, I don't think it's much of a career. And if wrestling isn't much of a career, then what are you left with?
Education.
Yeah, you're left with education. So that is a perfect segue into a little brief discussion of my life. So I came from a family where neither of my parents graduated from high school. And not only didn't they graduate from high school, but they gave me zero guidance on what to do when I grew up. So my guidance came from my high school counselor, who also didn't care much about my future, or they thought my future was pretty dismal. So they said, what you need to do, Joe West, is go into the Army right out of high school. And so I went into the Army right out of high school, and I made $460.20 as a private E3 in the military for a couple of years. Exited the military, and then I took some really ratty jobs working as an assembly line, building avionics equipment for a company called Sperry Flight Systems. And while I was at Sperry Flight Systems, as an assembly person, and by this, sitting on a line watching parts go by, and I built them. 5 years I built avionics parts. After 5 years, I decided I had enough of that, and I thought, oh, these people called technicians, electronic technicians, they have a great job. I better go to school. I can get a 2-year degree, and I can become a technician. So that's what I did. I went to school as an assembler, worked, and went to school and got a 2-year degree and became a technician. Well, I went to work for a company called Motorola. How many of you have heard of Motorola before? Motorola, they used to make cell phones. I don't know if they still make them anymore. Kind of sense they don't. So I went to work for Motorola as a technician, and I worked for Motorola for 9 years as a technician while getting my electrical engineering degree. Then I worked as an electrical engineer for close to 30 years, a little over 30 years. I worked as an electrical engineer, and then I decided I'd get my Master's of Business Administration and then get a PhD. And my PhD is in public policy, and I have an MBA. The point here is, throughout my life, the one thing that led to a better life for me and my family was education, right? I started as an assembler, then became a technician, then became an engineer, and then went into business and did some business things. And so education for me was the touchstone of my life. And I have a feeling for many of you, education will be what takes you further in your life than wrestling will ever take you. Now that said, the skills that you learn as wrestlers, I'm going to assume the skills apply in the private sector as well. Is that true? Some of the skills that you learn? Can somebody give me an example of a skill that you learn as a wrestler that actually is applicable in the private sector, in a job? Yes, sir.
Being on time.
Being on time. What else?
Hardworking.
Yes, hardworking. So let's stop on hardworking. That's a perfect segue into my next comment. I'm average intelligence, if average intelligence. I've never had an IQ test. I don't think I'm exceptional in any way. I am simply average. I got a PhD and an electrical engineering degree, not because I'm intelligent, because I work hard. I say, this is my goal, and nothing will shake me from that goal, period, nothing. If I say I'm gonna get it done, I get it done. I think the same holds true for all of you. I have to believe it does. Even if you're exceptionally intelligent, let's say you're above average intelligent. Grit, the ability to work hard and make things happen, is unbelievably important. More important, some studies say, than intelligence itself. The kind of bulldog approach to, this is what I want and I'm going to make it happen, that will carry you further in life than you could ever imagine. Never give up. Never give up. So, here you are in college, and you're going to face some tough classes. Many of you already are facing tough classes. Before we talk about classes, I'd like to see a show of hands. How many of you are freshmen? Freshmen? Sophomores? Juniors? And seniors? One senior? Okay, very good. So, for the senior, you're almost done. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Juniors, you're getting close. Freshmen and sophomore, you got a long way to go. And I think there's going to be a lot of work in front of you. Now, my experience teaching undergraduates, I teach graduate classes primarily. Sometimes I teach, once a year I teach undergraduates. My experience with undergraduate athletes looks something like this. Some name. Grade, and with the name goes 40% name, 50% name, 80%. When I look at grades, if I had to pick out a single group of individuals who don't seem to do well in my quantitative analysis class, it is athletes. Athletes don't seem to do well. Part of this is because people in general don't like math, and athletes are no different. Part of it is also it's a lot of work. And athletes, what time do you guys start training?
5:45.
Is that 5 o'clock a.m.? Yeah, 5 o'clock a.m. So if it'll make you feel any better, I get up at 4:30, and I'm in the gym here at 6:30, a couple of days a week playing racquetball. So I'm an early person as well. But when you get up that early, what happens around 4 o'clock? What happens to your bodies? And you guys are ready to crash, right? I'm ready to crash, actually. I'm probably crashing right now, and you don't even recognize it. So, I'm tired, you're tired. I think it makes classroom work difficult sometimes. So what is it that I'm going to do for you? Somebody tell me, what can I possibly do for you? I'm a geeky professor, ex-engineer. What can I do for you?
Tutor.
So I could tutor, but that's not what I'm going to do for you. Yes.
Guide us academically.
Yes. So here's what I'd like. You're going to run into some issues, some problem areas, maybe that you don't know how to deal with a certain circumstance. I want you to call me and let me know what's going on. Let me, if at all possible, let me find a way to intervene for you rather than have you have to work an issue with a professor by yourself. So let's say that you have a professor and there's a problem in their class. Maybe you're not doing well, maybe there's some other issue. I would like to be brought in early, as soon as you know there's an issue. Maybe even before your professor knows there's an issue. I would like to know that there's an issue so that we can start working the problem. My goal is to make sure that not one of you drops out from this school. Nobody fails. Nobody has a problem that causes them to get booted out of class or booted out of the university. And remember what I said about grit? You sick me on a problem, I'll make sure it gets taken care of. Can I solve miracles? No. But I can definitely make an effort to help you out. Okay? So that's the first thing I want to say. I'm here to help you in whatever ways you guys may need help. Okay? What I'd like to do now, after that brief or not so brief introduction from me, I'd like you to introduce yourselves to me. And here's the information that I'd like you to tell me. So name, where you work if you work, what your level is, and one issue you have experienced. Here. And by issue, I mean a problem that you've run into. Just any kind of simple problem. Oh, I was late for class, or I'm tired all the time, or whatever some issue may be. Tell me what keeps you awake at night, or what causes you problems, okay? And let's go ahead and start with this corner over here.
You want to stand up?
No, you can sit, that's fine.
All right, my name's Caleb Warner. And his work, you mean like right now or like?
Yeah, if you're working, if you have a job, I'd like to know what your job is.
I don't have a job currently.
Then your major. If you don't have a job, what your major
Master's in
is.
Business Administration. And I'm a redshirt junior.
Okay.
And one issue I've had here, I've only been here for my first semester, but
Okay.
I guess Labor Day threw me off, and I had an assignment get turned in late, but that was it.
Were you able to resolve it okay?
Yeah, I finished. I did the assignment and everything.
Did you get credit for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Good.
My name is Dustin Smith. I'm a finance major, redshirt junior, and I took a class or two I didn't have to take to graduate.
Okay, so you're a junior and you took some classes that didn't help you.
Mhm.
Okay. Did your advisor not tell you the classes wouldn't apply? No. Okay, next.
I'm Joe Ballantyne. I'm a redshirt junior. My major is criminal justice and sociology. And a problem, probably same thing as Dustin. I took a class that I didn't need to, so
Okay. That's a problem.
yeah.
It's a waste of time, but it's a
It was, yeah.
My name is Andrew Coburn. I actually work in the weight room, the athletes only weight room.
I walk by it. I drool over the equipment you have in there.
Yeah, I'm like an intern there. So.
Okay.
I'm a junior, senior, somewhere in between there. And one issue,
His knees.
yeah, I've had a hard time staying healthy. So that's about it.
Has that impacted your classes, do you think? at all?
I think at one point, yes, absolutely. But I had surgery in the middle of the semester, and that kind of messed my grades up. So.
Good. That's the kind of thing I can help with, actually. Next.
My name is Jack Hicks. I'm a freshman, and I have a job. And one issue I guess I've had is time management.
Okay. Not enough time for school or trying to manage wrestling and,
Just trying to get everything like in order.
okay.
I'm Jonathan Miller. I'm a mass comm major. Same as Andrew, junior, senior limbo. And one issue I've experienced is just in the past not applying myself to classes that should have been easy days.
Good, thank you.
My name's Hunter Strickland, and I'm an applied physics major / electrical engineering. I'm a freshman, and at orientation they gave me the wrong information for my major, so I had to completely redo my whole schedule like the first week I got here.
Oh, jeez. And what level are you now? You're a junior?
I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman, okay, so this just recently happened. Okay. Are you in the 3-2 program?
Yep.
Very good. My granddaughter's gonna start that program here next semester, so good job. Students here?
No.
Not student?
They're
Not student.
evacuees.
Evacuees. Oh, okay, very good.
My name is Matthew Engel. Currently, right now, I'm undecided, but I'm filling out the 3+2 program.
Okay,
I'm in my second year, and one issue I've had is just making sure I stay up on top of my work and staying focused in class.
okay, very good.
My name is Andrew Kapoor, and I'm a criminal justice major, and I'm a freshman. And I would say the only issue I had is how I scheduled my classes, because I put 4 on one day and then 1 class on the other. So
Yeah, so you're drowning or you've got lots of free time? 4 classes on one day, that's a lot of
it
work.
just gets me tired. Like, I got the work done, it's just tiring.
That makes sense, yep. All right,
I'm Darian Stutz. I'm a pre-med major. I'm a freshman, and one issue I've had is I have a math teacher, which is like my hardest subject, and he doesn't speak English very well. Like, I can't understand.
you know what, there is no easy solution for that. I had the same problem going through my EE degree. Lots of foreign instructors, and it's common in math and science. I don't know an easy way around that one, right?
It's a mess.
It is
Self-teach.
really tough.
Self-teach.
You better listen to God.
Yeah, get a tutor. By the way, do you provide, are there,
The university provides tutors for free, and now they've gotten something that's even better, 24/7 tutoring. You can get online at 3 a.m. in the morning, and there are people that work for, I think it's Pierce,
yeah, Pearson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pearson.
and there are people that are paying money to be able to.
Wow,
Yeah, so there's no excuse.
okay,
Essentially,
so you can get tutoring if you need it, there you go.
on campus and online, so we've already talked about this a little bit.
Excellent. Next,
My name is Harrison Sklar. I'm undecided. I'm a freshman, and I have trouble with organization.
okay. Meaning you don't keep lists of everything you have to do and keep your calendar up to date and
Yeah,
all of that.
everything.
Do you have an iPhone, just out of curiosity?
Android.
Android? Does it have a calendar on it?
Yeah, calendar.
So, what works for me, and the only thing that works for me is keeping everything I have to do on a calendar. I don't know if that will help for you, but everything
I'll try it out.
is on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, I forget it. I wouldn't be here if this meeting wasn't on my calendar. Next.
My name is Nate Eisenhower. I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a freshman, and the only issue I've had is staying focused in class, really. But that's it.
Staying focused because it's boring material, or it's
Yeah.
difficult, or you're sleepy, or a combination of all of the
That's a
above.
combination.
Okay. Next.
My name's Tyler McCosey. I work over at Student Support Services with TRIO.
Okay.
No relation to my major whatsoever, but it's just a job I like to do. I'm a junior, and one issue I experienced is that I've changed my career path about 4 times since my freshman year, so I've been all over the place.
So what do you want to do when you grow up now?
So now I'm thinking about staying here for a master's degree in physical education.
And then that would lead to a job.
Yes, sir.
Yep, makes sense.
I'm Luke McDonough. I'm a bio major, and I'm a sophomore, and probably one major issue is just trying to find the right study habit for certain classes, mostly my science classes. But yeah, because each class I have a different study habit, but my bio classes, I gotta find the right one for that.
What do you say, what would you say you study, how many hours per week in your most difficult class? Roughly,
Probably about 3 a day.
3 hours a day, every day.
Yeah, because I go to study hall, then I study probably another hour afterwards.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of study.
My name's Brandon Sloop. I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a registered junior. And the biggest issue I've had is parking tickets. They got me good.
Did you figure out what causes parking tickets?
It wasn't a ticket. So they was like writing me 2 tickets for every ticket. Yeah, they
Because
was
you
like-
didn't pay the old ticket, maybe?
No, it was like failure to register or something.
Oh,
So it was like 60 per pop. I was hurt.
holy smoke. Well, I have a registered parking spot, and when students park in my spot, I call and have them towed. So you're lucky you got a ticket, because I don't give people tickets. They
And
get
then there's
towed.
nowhere to park either, so I just walked.
Oh, sure there is.
You hear all the time.
You can, actually, you probably didn't know it, but straight up, let me figure out where we are. Straight up this road, there's a Holiday Inn or some hotel on the left, just past the school. Their parking lot, we can park there free. It's
Are you talking about behind the Burger King?
no, that too. No, there's another one. Yeah, how far down is that? A half a mile? So you guys can handle a half a mile?
It's like half a
Oh, he's laughing. Maybe it's 5 miles.
I'm about to take the ticket, dog.
You realize most of these kids be here like with 5 minutes for class.
Yeah, that's a problem.
They might as well not come to class. Rather just take the ticket.
That time management thing. All right, next.
My name's Drew Cook, English major. I'm a senior, and probably the main problem I got is time management.
Yeah, you're almost done. So, grad school next, or do you know?
Nope, I'm out of here.
Smart. That's what I did too. Actually, I took a little bit of a break.
My name's Carson. I'm a chemistry major. I'm a sophomore, and I guess the problem that I have is staying focused.
Staying focused in class. Again, this head nod kind of.
Well,
thing?
I mean, kind of like a general kind of focus thing.
Okay.
Makes sense.
What's your favorite class right now? What's your favorite class?
My chemistry class.
Chemistry. Okay, good. I hated chemistry.
My name is Adrian Davenport, computer science major. I'm a junior, and one of the main problems I had is Canvas, not letting me turn in assignments.
Really? Yeah. Did you tell your professor that? And did they cut you some slack?
Nah, he actually, yeah, he did. He had to fix it like 4 times. He keeps putting in assignments in the wrong space.
So I've had similar learning curve problems. Not necessarily putting assignments in the wrong place, but designing a quiz and having multiple answers. It's different than Blackboard, and so there's going to be some learning curve. Hopefully your professors cut you some slack. That's the kind of problem, if they don't cut you slack, where you need to give me a call. Right, give me a call and let me work them over. Yes?
My name is Danielle Sanders. I'm a criminal justice major. I guess one of the main problems I've had was when my conflict between ROTC and wrestling.
So both are time consuming. I was in ROTC, so I know what ROTC is like.
It's like sometimes it would just come in between those two, and some of this would be at the same time. So I made a schedule for that.
Yeah, that's tough. Next.
My name is Ernesto Valentin. I'm a sophomore. My major is physical therapy. The thing that I have a problem with is like trying to keep a solid tutor. Cause one last year, she just gave me my book and just pointed to stuff and it was like, she asked me to read it to her so she can understand it. And then we just sat there for like 10 minutes deciding on what to do.
So that didn't work.
Nah. And then I don't know if I want to do it. I'm trying to get another one this year, but I don't want to go through the same thing. Cause last year I went there almost every week and we didn't do nothing.
Maybe Coach can hook you up with a Pearson a tutor. If they're free, they're probably not going to waste your time. Pearson's a really good company. And so I would expect their tutors to be professionally paid and probably pretty on top of things. So you might get with Coach and ask. Maybe that'll be a help.
My name is Marcus Montgomery. I'm a social work major, sophomore. And a big issue I had was this summer I took 2 classes and I retook one class and I got all the signatures and everything and my advisor signed off on it, but when I got it here, because I did it at a community college, the retake didn't come over, so I ended up paying $800 for no reason. So, I mean...
Your advisor from here?
Yeah.
Signed up on it?
Yeah.
So
he
that,
signed off on it.
Okay, so that's the kind of problem you should send me an email about. You send me an email and just tell me what the specifics are. That's not right. If you spent money, if you wasted money because of bad advice or something happened, we can fix that.
Well, he told me I'd have to like retake it at the university, so there's no way I can do anything with it.
So did you already retake the class? Or?
Yeah, I retook it.
You retook it already?
Here?
No, at the community college, and then got the transcripts sent over here.
But was it accepted here or not? No.
It was the equivalent, but it didn't get accepted because it wasn't here.
But he signed off on what you were taking at the community.
Yeah, it was signed off.
Yeah, so I need the professor's name, what the details of the issue, what the class was that you took, and that's something I can actually work for you.
Okay.
Yes.
My name's Cameron Oakley. I'm a business administration major. I'm a sophomore, and one issue I've had is buying all the access codes for all my classes.
So when you say access codes, what do you mean by that?
All the access codes to get the online books and do the homework and stuff.
Is that through the bookstore? The access codes, do they come through the bookstore?
You can do it. You can do it online. You can do it online, or you can get them through the bookstore.
Okay, and did you get them through the bookstore or try to get them online?
I've got most of them through the bookstore. I've had to get one through the website.
Okay, I would ask you to send me an email as well, because I'm also a secretary of the Faculty Senate here, and people have been complaining about just that, and so I'd love to use your case as an example to see if we can't get that fixed. Next.
My name is Marcus Bell. I'm an exercise and sports science major. I'm a junior, and a problem I ran into was I recently changed my major like at the end of my sophomore year, so I had to catch up during the summer. So I enrolled in like 4 classes, but only one of them went through because the other 3 got canceled due to low enrollment. So I gotta see if I can take them again this summer.
Yeah, so low enrollment is a difficult problem to solve because we have thresholds that we have to meet, and if we don't meet the threshold, the class gets canceled, and that may not be something I can even fix. Right?
Yes, sir.
It's whatever the numbers are, they are, and it sucks that you get booted out of class. Next.
Name's Kay Smith. I'm a sophomore, public relations major. And one problem I had was last semester I didn't have class on Tuesday or Thursday,
Mhm.
and it gave me too much free time. I kind of like fell off. But,
And you didn't spend that free time studying?
sometimes.
A few more for you, Dr. West.
Oh, thank you, sir. Entree. Students?
Yes.
All right.
Got it.
All right, so let's start with you. Your name?
Jaquan McIntyre.
And where do you work, or what's your major?
Biology education.
Okay. How about an issue that you've had here at the school? A problem with classes or professors or anything?
Probably mostly with the advisors not getting to the right classes that I should be in.
Yeah. There's a recurring theme I'm hearing. Bad advice or problem advice. Okay, in the corner back there.
My name is William Lees. I'm a freshman and exercise sports science major. And I got a problem with being on time.
Yeah, so that's probably a really common problem for people your age. So yes, and a lot of people have that problem. Next.
My name's Sammy Petticoss. I work as an RA in Pine. I'm a sophomore, and one issue I've had is just like time management, balancing wrestling, my work, and my schoolwork all at once.
Okay. Standing in the back.
My name is Chris Kelly, and I'm a sports and exercise science major, and my biggest thing is also time management. So.
Are you a freshman, sophomore, junior?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. Sitting down in the back row.
My name's Ethan Asco. I'm a sophomore biology major, and one problem I had is second semester last year, my classes financially got messed up, so I had to change one of my classes to a different time. So I got changed to 6 o'clock at night. So I already had 3 classes during the day. Then I had I had to go to practice, and then I had a class at night. So I had to withdraw from the class because I was
yeah, it was too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, too long a day.
Yeah.
I can relate. Next.
My name is Ronnie Petro. I'm a freshman. My major is business entrepreneurship. And probably my biggest issue is sleep schedule, really maintaining one, controlling it.
By the way, speaking of sleep, how many hours a night should you guys be sleeping roughly?
7.
7 to 8's pretty standard. Right? And I realize it's kind of hard. Probably some of you are probably working on 3 hours of sleep some nights. All right, next.
My name is Rasam Green. I'm a molecular biology major. I learned how to say the words.
That's the first step, is being a major.
I'm a freshman, and my teacher was posting quizzes on Canvas, and the right answer was in bold, and we just kept
picking the right answer.
Wait. Are you saying he bolded the right answers?
They like the bold, yeah, the right answer was
So
bold.
he just choose the bold?
Yeah, she.
Saying it's not
And then
an
she
issue.
found like she she saw saw her average. She saw her average was in the hundreds, so she just dropped all the quizzes. She dropped all the quiz grades.
Yeah,
that's what hurt. You about to fail. That's what it is.
So you said, no, really? I didn't notice that bold meant it was the right answer, and she didn't buy it.
I said I was studying hard.
Okay, I can see that might be a problem. All right, next.
I'm Nick Daggett. I'm a sophomore biology major, and probably my biggest problem right now is having statistics and botany in the same semester.
So I can help you with statistics. Can't help you with botany, but I can help you with statistics. I teach that. Next.
I'm Joey Perez. I'm an athletic training major. I'm a sophomore, and probably an issue is my sleep schedule. I'm Michael Perez. I work. I did like an online business doing branding and website redesign. I'm a junior, marketing major, minor in entrepreneurship, and my problem right now is managerial accounting. And my professor's like pretty up there in age, so it's really hard to focus and understand.
You mean like up there like this?
Yeah. And I didn't know about Pearson, but we didn't get managerial accounting tutors until this week. I got a test this Thursday, so they didn't have them hired until I know, but the hurricane came in clutch. So
Yeah, so now you're saved, right? And of course, everybody knows classes are closed starting Wednesday 8 a.m., right? You're free to do whatever you want, get some sleep. Next. Oh, yeah, studying.
Lucas Langford. I'm a freshman. My problem is some of my professors don't exactly teach, they just lecture off of like PowerPoints they have. They don't do anything else. And they go from the beginning to the end.
So we call that death by PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Death by PowerPoint. Yeah, so I haven't used a single PowerPoint slide since I've been here in my classes.
Good.
So I don't use PowerPoint. Next.
I'm Nathan Buchanan. I'm a biology major, freshman, and I have the same problem as Darian. I have a teacher that I can barely understand. And it's weird because she teaches English.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? Foreign professors teaching English. Yeah, that could be a problem. All right. So, we've been here roughly 35 minutes now, and what I'd like to do now is give you a chance to ask me any question that you ask, and I will give you an honest answer. Think of, God, I'd love to have asked the professor this, anything, and I'll answer it. Yes.
All right, so I'm in a foundations of analytical methods right now.
Yep.
And I look like, because last week I had like homework that I was doing. It was actually Friday or something like that. And I was like, had a couple issues with the problem or whatever, and I didn't know exactly how to do it. And I tried to go online and do the 24/7 tutor thing, but it was only undergraduate classes that were available for tutoring.
So it turns out that we actually do have graduate tutors in the tutoring center here. Okay, so you can request from our tutoring center a graduate tutor.
Okay.
And I think that I want to say they have one or two on staff. Okay, so I send my graduate students there as well.
That's where study hall was.
But yet you have to request a graduate student. So make sure you say I need a graduate student, not an undergraduate student. And preferably one that can read.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other question? Yes, sir.
The 262 Joe West, how does that work? Like your contact number?
Oh, so you look at the number on your phone?
Oh.
So you look at ABC.
What year were you born? I got you. I didn't want to assume that. That's what I thought at first.
Yeah, no,
That's what I down there.
It wasn't that bad of a question.
So people are giving you crap, but I guarantee you somebody else in here had that same question.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I have an even legit question. How were you able to get that number? That's
Right as
yeah, that is
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, just
He works hard.
okay. So my son is an engineer who works for T-Mobile. And I said, I want this number, get it for me, and he did. So, I'm not special or talented.
Oh, you are.
I know people in some other places.
I need that one.
Another way to do this, by the way, another way to do it is to get a Google Voice number. Google Voice will let you type in words, and it will find those words. And then you can forward your Google Voice number to your regular cell phone.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can come up with all sorts of cool words using Google Voice. So anyway, next, other questions, yes.
What's one of the most frustrating things you see as a professor that students do?
That students do. Not turn in assignments. Not turn in assignments. And when I say you're gonna fail, they continue to not turn in assignments. When I say, okay, you better drop from the class or you're gonna fail and be booted out of the program, sometimes they don't, and they get kicked out of the program. In graduate school, you get an F or D, you're gone. So that you're booted out of the school. So that's the most frustrating thing, students who don't try. A student who tries, I'm all over that. If you try and you don't understand, I like that. If you don't try and you don't understand, that's a problem, right? Good think back to the grit comment about, right? You set a goal and you achieve it. And that means trying. So, yeah, that's probably the most frustrating thing for me as a professor. Other questions? Anything? Yes, sir.
How fluent are, specifically at the graduate level, how fluent are the advisors in scheduling your curriculum throughout your 2 years to make sure that your classes fit in order? Like,
So
how experienced should they be?
So I can tell you in my program, professors are required to run what's called a DARS audit to determine what classes a student needs to graduate, and they should be checking that once a semester for every student. Now, we have our classes in my program, my graduate program. Those classes most of them are in a specific order, and so it makes it really easy.
Right.
Take this class, then this class, and this, and there's a stage sequence.
Right.
But if it gets to the end of the semester or the end of your degree as a graduate student, and you don't have a class, and yet your advisor's been signing off on that, there are ways to work around that so that you don't take a hit. That your advisor basically takes the blame for it, and they shift the class and do some rescheduling to make sure that you graduate when you expect to.
So I'm a graduate assistant here now. I'm in the master's program for physical education administration. And it's kind of a similar situation I'm in right now is I came in with another GA. She had put her course schedule together, so she is fluently flowing through 9 credit hours a semester. And now I'm stuck to where I'm taking 6 credit hours in the spring, and I need to take a course from another institution to fulfill conflict resolution because I was unable to take that. And now in my graduate assistant contract, if I'm not scheduled for 9 credit hours
That's
at
right,
this
yeah,
institution,
you can't do it.
I'm not gonna get my money.
Yep.
So now that's the problem that I'm afraid that I'm gonna run into.
So
when
one,
spring semester comes
so
around.
one thing that you could specifically do is ask them to do a guided study for you and substitute it for a class that you need.
Okay.
So sometimes you can approach a professor and say, can we do a guided study, 3 credit hours this semester, and then your program director, whoever the program director is, can say, yes, that will count for XYZ class, and off you go. And that actually happens in my program as well. Sometimes it's difficult not to have certain conflicts crop up. For example, a class getting closed, right? One class being closed can throw many students' graduation into disarray.
Yeah.
So it happens, but understand that you can request a special class and have the program director sign off of it and say that it will count.
I would think so, especially when you're only on a 2-year contract for your
Yep.
position, you know what I mean? That's
Yep.
a limited
So-
time to finish a degree.
Ask them, and if you can't get resolution, send me an email and maybe they need to be walked through the steps and I can help with that.
Okay.
All right? Other questions, anything?
At what age did you start teaching and what made you want to?
So teaching at the university level?
Yeah. Or had you already been teaching before that?
Well, I taught engineers. So I worked for a company called Intel, designing integrated circuits. So my last job was doing physical design, laying out integrated circuits, transistors, billions of them on an integrated circuit. So that was my last job, and I trained engineers there. At 49, I went back to school for my PhD, and I started teaching at 51 at the university level at Arizona State University. So my degree is from Arizona State University. Oh, Sun Devil? Let's go, man. There you go.
You are brave. You are a brave. You are.
I'm from Arizona, and I'm going there for my master's degree. So.
You're going back, huh? You couldn't drag me back to Arizona. I love North Carolina. Mine is free.
I'm gonna have to be there.
But I lived there for 40 years. Over 40 years.
I'm from Chandler.
And I got Mason. So,
Yeah.
So, anyway, I got sick of the heat. I remember one day, just before I graduated from Arizona State University with my PhD, I was on the freeway on my motorcycle, sitting in stopped traffic. The thermometer on my motorcycle said 121 degrees. I literally thought I was going to pass out. I had a helmet, all the gear on. I thought I was going to die. It's awful. So, here, that just doesn't happen. I sweat, but I don't feel like I'm going to pass out. So, all right. Any other questions from anybody about anything? Yes, sir.
How do you deal with professors? Because recently I emailed my professor because my math lab wasn't working.
Okay.
And she told me to contact the support system for the thing, and I did
So
that.
do it?
Yes, I did that. But she said best wishes, and the website wouldn't work anymore. So how would I respond to her email?
You
I
would-
asked her for extra time.
You would forward that email to me and let me see if I can help.
Okay.
Okay? So just forward that email to me and let me see if I can help. Okay, any other questions?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
So it's more like a statement. Did you see Aaron Rodgers last night?
I didn't actually. Why?
So he's just the GOAT.
But I did have a different question. As I do teach, so these guys have the same issue, obviously, you know, in these other departments, and even for my department, you know, there are some issues where, you know, just like you said, they'll email professors about certain issues, and it's almost like, I think I know what I signed up for. You know, when I came to teach and coach here, I knew that was my whole goal was to help people, you know, to help me get to where I am now, and so it's almost like, I guess, I don't know if people forget what their mission was, or I guess trying to find out how do we advise, because there's a couple guys in here that have had issues where before we got in this position with you, there was no one to send them to help, because they look at me as just a coach, and they're always just a coach trying to get his job athletes, you know, a special privilege, which is not. I mean, these guys will tell you, we hold them accountable, you know, obviously tell them to get to them ahead of time, go through all the proper channels, but it's like when they're going through the proper channels, they're not being looked at, they're not being given the due diligence they deserve. So I guess what's the best approach? Obviously, I know you've already had a couple guys tell you gonna email you, but I guess what's the best advice to give these guys as they're trying to navigate those situations so it doesn't get to a point where it's like a last resort?
Okay, let me, I'm gonna go stop the video. This class is being videoed. I don't wanna say this on camera, so hang on.
Oh.